For the hands-on, I will hand it over to Vivian Aranya, who will go over implementation details for AutoGen, IBM-B, LangGraph, CrewAI, and AutoGPT framework.
Thank you, Thomas, for the introduction. And now we will jump into AutoGen. AutoGen is an open source AI framework developed by Microsoft to facilitate the creation and management of multi agent systems. These systems enable multiple AI agents to collaborate in solving complex tasks autonomously or with human feedback. AutoGen is designed to streamline the development of multi agent workflows by simplifying agent communication, coordination, and tool integration. Some of the key features include multi agent conversations. AutoGen allows agents to interact with each other through structured conversations, enabling them to solve problems collaboratively. Agents can communicate, use tools, and even execute code depending on the task. We have agent customization. You can design agents with specific capabilities and roles, such as an assistant agent for general tasks or a user proxy agent to simulate user behavior or handle specific workflows like code execution. Agents can be configured to use different large language models LLMs like GPT-4 and integrate tools for code execution, file handling, or API interactions. Human in the loop. AutoGen supports human intervention when necessary. This feature allows humans to provide input, review decisions, and guide the process when automated decision making requires oversight. Code execution and tool use. Agents in AutoGen can run code and use external tools autonomously. For example, you can create a task where an agent generates code, executes it, and even debugs it autonomously. AutoGen Studio. For users who prefer a low code environment, AutoGen Studio provides a user friendly interface to define, test, and deploy multi agent workflows without deep programming knowledge. You can visualize agent interactions, track performance, and export workflows as APIs for integrations into larger systems. Next, let's look at some use cases. So we have the code-based task automation. AutoGen can be used to automate code generation, execution, and debugging tasks, reducing the need for human intervention. We have collaborative multi-agent workflows. It is ideal for orchestrating tasks where multiple agents collaborate, such as research, content generation, or troubleshooting. Enhanced customer support. AutoGen can be deployed to create AI driven customer support systems where multiple agents handle different aspects of the interaction, such as problem diagnosis and resolution. Finally, let's jump into the hands on where we will chat between user proxy agent and an assistant agent. Let's get started. So, start with let's open terminal. So, I'm going to open terminal, make it a little bigger so you can see clearly. Go to my desktop folder. I'm going to create a virtual environment here by saying python -mvenv, and I'll call it AutoGen environment. And once it's created, I'm going to say source AutoGen env is the name that I gave, env slash bin slash activate this environment. And now I'm in this environment. Now first thing, oops, let me clear it out. First thing that I want to do in this environment is install AutoGen. You can do it by saying pip install py AutoGen, and that will install our Python AutoGen. It will take a few seconds. It's not that big, so it should be pretty quick. And once it's done, I'm going to clear it out again. And now I'll write the code that can define agents and set up conversations between them. So let's open Sublime Text. I'm going to save it on my desktop. I'm going to call this testing.py, and in here I'll start writing code. So first thing is from AutoGen import assistant agent and user proxy agent. Now what did we type here? Now this line imports two classes. One is the assistant agent and user proxy agent from AutoGen framework. Now the assistant agent is represents the AI assistant agent, which acts autonomously based on the given configuration, and the user proxy agent represents the user in the system. It simulates user behavior by sending inputs to assistant and interacting with it. Example, asking questions and giving commands. Next step. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable llm underscore config equal to, inside here I'll say specify what model I want to use. I'm going to go over this again to GPT dash. I think the one that I have access in my open GPT is for O dash mini. That's what I have paid for. If you have no idea how to use this, just go to open API and create a key, and it will give you instructions on that, and then use your API key. Now here I'm going to use my API key. I'm going to leave it like this for now because I don't want to share it with everyone on YouTube. So I'm going to keep it something like this. So just to go over again here, uh, we have created a configuration dictionary uh, which is created for language learning model LLM, and the model specifies the model being used, in this case OpenAPI's GPT-4o mini, which is the model that I'm using, key value pair. And then API key refers to the API key that allows the agent to access the GPT-4o model. This key is unique to me, and it is obtained from OpenAI's API management portal. You can probably do get yourself. To get there, you can open a browser and just say Open API key, and then it will take you to OpenAI's website where you can sign up and get a key. So that's the next step. The next step is let's create the agents. So first agent that I want to create is assistant agent equal to, I'll say assistant agent. That's how you, oops, sorry, not a quotes, the assistant agent. And in here it takes parameters name assistant and llm underscore config equal to llm underscore config from above, and I'll create user underscore proxy equal to user proxy agent, user underscore proxy, and code underscore execution underscore config equal to, set this false, capital F. And so what am I doing here? So in this particular line, I'm creating the assistant. I'm using the assistant, first one, assistant agent class, where I'm providing an attribute assistant. The agent is this. So in this particular case, I'm giving the agent a name assistant for identification, and the LLM config equal to LLM config. What I'm doing there is the LLM configuration from the previous step is passed to the assistant. This tells the assistant which model to use, or GPT, which is GPT-4o mini, and provides the necessary API credentials. The assistant will now have the ability to use that model for processing tasks such as responding to queries, generating text, and making decisions. The next line, which is user proxy, where we are creating the where we are giving a name user proxy to the user proxy agent class, and this agent will simulate the actions of user interacting with the system. The code execution config equal to false. This configuration disables the code execution feature. By setting this to false, the agent will not be able to execute any code as part of the interaction. If you wanted the user proxy to execute code, you would need to configure this with a specific execution environment like enabling Python or shell execution. The next step in this case is to initiating the chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say user proxy dot initiate, if I can spell it right, underscore chat. I guess that's the right spelling, initiate. Yep. And then I'm going to pass the assistant that I'm going to initiate chat with, and message equal to, in this case I'm just going to give a message saying tell me a joke about tech, let's say stocks. So let's save this. So that's kind of it. And in the last statement, what I'm doing is I'm starting the conversation between the user proxy and the assistant agent. The user proxy dot initiate chat. The initiate chat method is called on the user proxy agent, asking it to start a conversation with the assistant agent. The user proxy sends this message as the first input, asking the assistant to generate a joke about text talk. The assistant will use GPT-4o model to understand and respond to this query. Let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to go to my folder here, and then I will run. Maybe I might be missing some stuff. So let's see what we are missing. Say Python, and the name of the file was testing.py. So it looks like I am missing sklearn here. So for doing that, let me clear it out. Now for sklearn, we have to give this command pip install -u skikit learn and skypy and matplotlib. So I make sure everything is available just in case if something is missing later. I don't have to get that back again. It's going to take some time and install all those libraries. And once I'm done, let's try again one more time if I'm missing anything. Oh, I'm missing XGBoost, so I am going to say pip install XGBoost. Also, remember I forgot to uh, go back. I forgot to add my API key, so I'm going to add the API key right now. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to take my key and paste it here. So my key is pasted. Now I'm going to go back and run it. And it started starting the conversation, tell me a joke about text talks. And the user proxy started with it, and assistant said to user proxy, why did the text talks break up with its significant other? Because it couldn't handle the volatility. Terminate. Replying as user proxy, provide feedback to the assistant, please enter to skip and use auto reply, or type exit to end the conversation. I can press enter, and it says no human input received using the auto reply. It seems you are interested in the blank response. Enter a blank response if you have any questions or tasks. To assist you, I'm going to say, what is the capital of Italy? And it says the capital of Italy is Rome. It answered me. So now I've created a chat agent here, which so user proxy is me, and then the assistant is going to answer based on the question that I have. So this kind of gets us to a point where we have successfully tested AutoGen AI agent. So if you have any questions, leave me in the comments, and I'm going to move to the next framework.